Rex Ryan didn't just criticize Shedeur Sanders, he questioned him on national television. And the second those words left his mouth, something's missing with this kid. You could feel it. This wasn't about footwork. It wasn't about reads. This was personal. And when Cam Newton heard it, he didn't hesitate. He stepped in and made it clear this narrative was going too far, because Rex didn't stop at football analysis. He said Shedeur sits in the back of meeting rooms, said he runs his mouth like he's already a starter, told him to get to the front row and study. Then he doubled down and called it embarrassing that he's not QB1. That's heavy language for a rookie. A fifth-round pick, a third-string quarterback. And here's the problem. Where's the proof? There's no coach on record saying Shedeur skips preparation, no insider report saying he's lazy, no footage of him blowing off meetings, yet the label was thrown out there anyway. And in this league, once a label sticks, it follows you. Locker rooms hear it, fans repeat it, media builds on it. That's how reputations get shaped before a player ever gets a real shot. But Cam Newton wasn't letting that slide. When Cam addressed it, his tone shifted. Calm, direct, experienced. He's been in this exact situation before, when confidence gets mistaken for arrogance, when personality becomes the storyline instead of performance. Cam said we've never seen a third-string, fifth-round quarterback have this much relevance this deep into a season. And he's right. Think about that. You can't name another third-string quarterback in the NFL right now without Googling it. But everybody knows Shedeur Sanders. He's leading jersey sales for the Cleveland Browns. He's dominating debate shows. Fans are chanting his name when the offense stalls. That doesn't happen by accident. That doesn't happen if a player is invisible. That happens because presence matters. And sometimes presence makes people uncomfortable. Nick Wright backed Cam up. He made it clear. If you're going to question a guy's work ethic publicly, you better have sources. You better know something. Because when you talk about things that aren't on film, people assume you're hearing it from inside the building. And if that's not the case, then it's speculation dressed up as analysis. And here's where it gets interesting. The Browns' offense right now is struggling badly, statistically near the bottom of the league. Joe Flacco already got benched. Dylan Gabriel is hovering. The defense is good enough to compete, but the offense can't hold up its end. So naturally, the spotlight drifts to the most talked-about player on the sideline. Shedeur. Now imagine being a coaching staff dealing with that. Every incomplete pass from the starter, the crowd gets louder. Every stalled drive, cameras pan to Shedeur. Every press conference includes the same question. When will he play? That kind of attention isn't normal for a third stringer. Nick floated a theory that hits hard. Maybe part of the reason Shedeur slid in the draft was because teams didn't want the media frenzy attached to a backup quarterback. If he's not your clear-cut starter, do you really want weekly headlines about the guy holding the clipboard? Because in most professions, visibility is leverage. In an NFL quarterback room, if you're not QB1, visibility can feel like pressure. Cam knows that firsthand. Even after his MVP run, teams hesitated to bring him in as a backup. Not because of ability, because of headlines, because of the noise that follows him. That same storm is swirling around Shedeur right now, and then there's the tension inside Cleveland. Reports suggest ownership pushed hard for Shedeur in the draft. That matters. Because if he wasn't the coaching staff's first choice, that dynamic gets tricky. Coaches naturally invest more in the guy they handpicked. They give him the cleanest reps, the longest leash, the benefit of the doubt. Meanwhile, Shedeur waits. And when he does get reps, are they with the first team? Or is he thrown in with third-string protection and fringe receivers and expected to create magic? Cam made that point clearly. If you want a real evaluation, put him with real players. Don't test him in chaos and call it development. Because quarterback play is connected to protection, timing, chemistry. Strip that away, and even veterans look average. But here's something nobody can deny. Not one teammate has publicly criticized Shedeur. Not one assistant coach has leaked frustration. In today's NFL media world, if there were real issues behind the scenes, we'd know by now. That silence? It speaks. Then there's the bigger conversation Nick brought up, the aura versus arrogance debate. What one player's passion is, another player's arrogance. Who gets labeled what often depends on perception. When certain quarterbacks show emotion, it's fire, leadership, competitive spirit. When others carry confidence,